Welcome to Neural Newscast. I'm Claire Donovan, reporting on labor and workplace policy.
And I am Thatcher Collins, covering space and, well, the physical sciences. Today, we're starting with a developing situation in the Philippines, where the Earth itself it's really demanding a retreat from the foothills of its most active volcano.
Right. Authorities in the northeastern province of Albay have raised the alert level for the Mayon Volcano to level 3. Now, this change follows a series of, mild eruptions and intermittent rockfalls, some of which are described as being the size of cars. Nearly 3,000 villagers have already been moved to safety.
It is a fascinating but terrifying process, Claire. Teresito Bacocol, the country's chief volcanologist, described it as a quiet eruption. Lava is accumulating at the peak and swelling the dome, which leads to those car-sized rockfalls and pyroclastic flows. I mean, these are fast-moving avalanches of super-hot rock fragments and gas that can be lethal to anything in their path.
The evacuation zone is strictly defined as a 6-kilometer radius from the crater. While that's a permanent danger zone, many families have lived there for generations due to, economic necessity. This really highlights a recurring issue in the Philippines, where poverty often forces citizens into landslide-prone areas or literally beneath active volcanoes.
Totally. And Mayon is famous for its near-perfect cone shape, which makes it a huge tourism draw. But history shows its danger. In 1814, an eruption buried an entire town and a church, leaving only a belfry protruding from the ground as a reminder. While scientists say it's too early to tell if this will escalate to a major explosive eruption, the military and police are, they're not taking any chances.
Speaking of military intervention and shifting safety zones, we're moving now to the Middle East. The power struggle in Yemen has reached a new boiling point, but this time it involves a deepening rift between former allies.
That's right. Saudi-backed forces have reportedly moved to capture the key southern city of Aden. This follows an accusation from Riyadh that the United Arab Emirates, the UAE, actually helped a separatist leader flee the country.
Exactly. The Saudi-backed government's National Shield Forces have announced that the security situation in Aden is now under control. This is significant because, Aden has served as the temporary seat of the Yemeni government since 2014. The conflict here isn't just about the Houthi rebels anymore. It's about the divergent agendas of Saudi Arabia and the UAE.
Yeah, and the UAE has historically backed the Southern Transitional Council, or STC, which wants an independent South Yemen. Saudi Arabia, however, wants a unified and stable state on its border. This ideological split led to a public dispute where Saudi Arabia actually conducted airstrikes on UAE shipments recently.
The STC leader, Idris al-Zubaydi, is now being accused of high treason by the internationally recognized government. He reportedly fled to Abu Dhabi. Thatcher Collins, this looks like a classic regional power struggle where the local population is caught in the middle of shifting military convoys.
Precisely. The Saudi ambassador recently met with STC officials in Riyadh, essentially giving them an ultimatum to cooperate or, be declared an enemy. It's a precarious moment for the region's stability.
From the instability of borders to the biological stability of the human body, our final story today looks at the medical landscape. For millions of people using GLP-1 drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy, a new challenge is emerging. What happens when the treatment stops?
Science is showing us that these medications are not a one-time fix. Recent data suggests that most patients regain a significant portion of their weight after they stop taking the medication. This is because the drugs mimic a hormone that regulates appetite and blood sugar. And when that signal is removed, well, the body's biological drive to return to its previous weight takes over.
And that creates a massive policy and insurance hurdle. If these are lifelong medications, the cost to employers and the healthcare system it's astronomical. However, the cost of treating obesity-related illnesses is also high. We're seeing a major debate in workplace benefits right now regarding how long these prescriptions should actually be covered.
Right, and it's also a matter of biology versus willpower. The medical community is increasingly viewing obesity as a chronic condition, much like hypertension. You wouldn't expect your blood pressure to stay down if you stopped taking your medication, and the data suggests the same logic applies here to these weight management drugs.
The social pressure is equally intense, though. Patients often feel a sense of failure when the weight returns, despite the biological inevitability you mentioned, Thatcher. It is clear that the science of the drug has moved faster than our social and economic systems can really handle.
It truly is a new frontier in human biology. Whether we're monitoring the swelling of a volcanic dome or the hormonal signaling in our own bodies, the theme today seems to be one of constant vigilance.
A very apt observation, Thatcher. Thank you for joining us for this look at our changing world. I'm Claire Donovan.
And I'm Thatcher Collins. This has been Neural Newscast.
Thanks for listening. Neural Newscast is AI-assisted, human-reviewed. View our AI transparency policy at neuralnewscast.com.